What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor, and we hit 5,000 subscribers. Now today's video is all about my full stock portfolio. I'm going to show you absolutely everything. You know how honest and transparent I am in the channel, but I just want to have a chat first because genuinely I'm really overwhelmed today. Like last night, guys, we hit 4,900 subs. And it became real. It became so real that we were going to hit 5,000. And I woke up this morning, guys, and we were on 4,999. And I can't even tell you how many times I sat there just refreshing the screen. And when we hit 5,000, it was an amazing feeling. To have 5,000 people who have clicked onto a video of mine, or a couple of videos of mine, and decided that they wanted to subscribe to me, they wanted to support me in that way. It's mind-blowing. I did not see this happening this quickly when I started uploading. I genuinely didn't, and I know that might sound really cliche. I'm gonna say, you know, when I started uploading, I just did it for myself. I wasn't getting monetized, I wasn't making money. I just love making these videos. I love the interaction with you guys, and that's still why I do this every single day. I wouldn't do something every single day just for money. It's so hard to explain. Making and uploading these YouTube videos has literally become the highlight of my day. Like, I wake up so excited to do these, and there's days where I wake up and I'm like, what am I going to make a video about? I don't know, and I always figure out something just because I love it to pieces. And it's just the fact that so many people are enjoying the videos. The support, guys, is so overwhelming. Every time I get a nice comment, every time I even get a like, a new sub, it genuinely, I get that little rush, you know. It's crazy. I just want every single one of you who is subscribed up until this point, you know, whether it's after 5,000 or before 5,000, I genuinely appreciate you and your support so much more than I even know how to put into words. I know it's not really coming out of my tone right now, but I'm so happy, I'm so excited, I'm so emotional, I don't even know what to say. But this could turn into something amazing, you know, this could really be something special in a few months' time, in a year's time. And the thoughts of that, I'm just a 23-year-old kid sitting in his room with an obscene whiskey collection behind him, who started investing about 3 months ago, who speaks to a camera. I don't know what I've done to deserve such a loyal fan base, but genuinely, I appreciate you all so much. So, let's try keep it going, guys. Please do smash that like button. It means the world to me. Drop me a comment. Let me know when you subscribe to me. I think that'd be a really cool thing to do today. Like if you subbed when we were at 1,500, 3,000, whatever it is, let me know, because that's just going to be so interesting to see. And still, no matter how many subs I get, I'm going to do my best to respond to every single comment, and I'm pretty sure I have not missed a single comment yet. And of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, if this is the first video you've seen, or the second or third, please do hit that red button. I think I've made it clear that it means an awful lot to me. So now, on with the actual point of today's video. A video that a lot of people have asked for throughout the last couple of months. I'm going to show you guys my complete full stock portfolio. Will go back to when I started investing, how much I have in there, my biggest holdings, everything that I think will be somewhat interesting. So, with all of that out of the way, sorry for getting a little bit emotional, let's get into the video. So, we're going to start everything off by just showing you how much is in my portfolio right now, how much I've invested, when I started investing, things along those lines. So you'll see here, the very first time that I invested was on the 29th of February, and I threw in €1,100. And what I will say is my plan after this initial investment was genuinely just to invest €125 a week. That was all I planned on doing. So, you know, I planned on maybe having a portfolio the size that I have now by the end of the year. It was only going to be a little thing, but very quickly it became the main place that I was putting my excess money. So we can see then very quickly, literally the following week, I went ahead and I invested a further €1,000. So keep in mind that this was back when the crash was all starting to happen, you know. There was so much bad news in the world. All of the stocks were going down in value, and I was literally brand new to investing, 1 week into investing. And if I saw a company go down 5 or 10%, I thought in the long term, that's surely a fantastic deal. Now, I don't regret putting the amount of money I did in at the start, but if I had the experience I had now, I definitely would have waited out a little bit later. But look, you live and you learn. These lessons are going to be invaluable going into the future. I'm undoubtedly going to go through many more stock market crashes. So now we can go down to the 3-month stock chart, okay? And I made that investment, and I threw in another 150 here and there, another 150 here and there, 200, 300... And you can see here, we were doing very poorly. Look, there was a stage we were down 25%, and we were down pretty much for my entire time in the stock market, okay? And you can see that every week, every 2 weeks, I started putting in 250, 300 euro, whatever I could afford really, to be honest. And then we just keep going on, okay? And you can see that things started to go back up. You know, here we are, what, the end of April, we were down 5%. We had 3,700 invested. And then we were actually in the green for a period of time, barely in the green. And then things took that little second downward turn, and we've been trading, you know, in an alright place. Now, things started to get relatively real around here, okay? I went from 3,700 euro, I put another, what was that, 700 euro in, okay? And then the next week, again, we invest more money. Another 700 goes in. Then 2 weeks later, another 700 goes in. And this is where we are at today. We are at pretty much exactly break even. So at the start, I didn't really plan on investing all that much. I'll be completely honest. As I said, it was going to be 125 euro a week. And I thought if I did that every single week for decades and decades, I'd be in a good position by the time I'm 50 or 60. And then I started to realize, you know what, actually, I want to pump a good bit more money in here. Because the only place I had ever saved money before was in the credit union. And quite obviously, I started to take a massive interest in the world of stocks and in the world of finance and just the world in general and news. And that's why YouTube has become such a big passion of mine, because it's a place where I can share my thoughts and opinions and everything that I'm seeing with the world. So very quickly did I just go from, you know, planning on putting a little bit of extra money into the stock market to pumping a considerable amount of money in. Because keep in mind again, I know for a lot of people, that portfolio is nothing. But for somebody of my age, where I'm from, it's a decent portfolio, and I'm happy to have built it up this quickly. In the space of about 3 months, I'm quite happy. You already know that on this channel, we don't discriminate. I do not care if you have a portfolio with $100, 100 euro in it. I don't respect you any more or less than anybody has a portfolio worth millions, okay? Anybody, and I believe that anybody has the same right to invest in the stock market as anybody else. I've addressed this in a video before because somebody in my comments got, you know, made fun of because they had a small position. I don't deal with that stuff. I wanted to get that out there quickly. So that's what we're actually looking at right now. I've pretty much just over $7,000 invested, and I'm at pretty much complete and utter break even. So now we're actually on Trading 212, and I'm going to go through each and every one of my positions very briefly and show you how they're performing. But to kick things off, we're going to go through my 10 biggest holdings, okay? We have Delta Airlines, which is nearly 7% of my portfolio. Jeesh. Facebook, which is a very new holding to me, 6.2%. ExxonMobil, one of my favorite dividend stocks in the world, a company I'm going to make a full video on very soon, 4.44%. Apple, another beautiful company, one of the FANG stocks, 4.38%. Walt Disney, 4.03%. Alphabet Inc. Class A, again another FANG stock, 3.94%. Coca-Cola, juicy one, 3.85%. Microsoft 3.79%, Amazon 3.69%, and Pepsi 3.63%. So they're my 10 biggest holdings, and they account for about 45% of my portfolio. And as of right now, there is 29 different companies in the portfolio, and we're going to go through them all briefly and see how they've performed for me so far. Okay, so first up, my biggest is Delta Airlines, and you guys already knew that if you watch the channel because I've said it several times, okay? And you can see we have 20 shares in Delta, market value at $453.65, and the result is just barely in the green, $6.92, but in the green nonetheless. We'll go through this very quickly, okay? Second biggest, we have Facebook, quantity of 2, and the result is down $6.19. ExxonMobil is third up, so my third biggest investment, 7.1 shares. That is annoying. I need to get 0.9 of a share into these guys, and they are down $10.37. Apple, I have 1 full share in them, okay? Oh, these prices are actually in euro, they're not in dollars, just so you're aware. So I actually have over 500 in Delta, over 450 in Facebook, but that doesn't matter. So anyway, Apple is pretty much at break even. Next up, we have Walt Disney, a company who's actually done me quite well. I have 2.5 shares in these guys, and they are up 38.14, which is close-ish to 20%. Then we have Google, who again is up a little bit for me, 14.75. Coca-Cola, 6 shares, down 27.20. Microsoft, 1.5 shares, down 188. Amazon, 0.11 shares, down 70 cents, so pretty much break even again. PepsiCo, 2 shares at negative 7.50. One of my favourite companies in the world who is still in the red. I will definitely be picking up more of these guys relatively soon. But also, I mentioned this in the last couple of videos, my aim is now to get more and more growth stocks into the company. My dividend stocks won't be getting as much love for a little while. Now, I will still be buying them, but growth stocks are priority number 1. Cisco, 4.7 shares, and they're actually up nearly 40 euros, so they've done very well for me. EPD, okay, 13 shares in them, and they're down about 26 euro, okay? I've spoken about these guys a good bit lately as well. I love them. AT&T, a very controversial one, it always is. 8 shares in these guys, down 22. Right, J&J. You know who J&J are. We have 1.6 shares, we're up a little bit. 3M, again, you all know who 3M are, 1.5 shares, up a little bit. Altria Group, 6 shares, up a little bit. McDonald's are actually doing quite well for me, 1.25 of a share, up nearly 19. PG, I have 2 shares in these guys, and they're actually down for me, okay? So again, another company I may well pick up a little bit more of soon. It's hard to say though, because again, I do want most of my money going to these, you know, growth stocks, and PG isn't necessarily a growth stock by any means. Right, Chevron, 2.5 shares, just down. Southwest Airlines, okay, so another airline, 7 shares, and they have also treated me quite well. I think they're up over 20-ish% right now, or they were when I last checked. Realty Income, so another one that a lot of people love, the only REIT that I own as of right now, and I really do love them. 4 shares, and they're up for me. Caterpillar, 1.8 shares, and they're down. My worst performing company, Wells Fargo, I just recently picked up 2 more shares in these guys, so we have 7.6 shares, and they're down nearly €60, guys, so oh, they're not doing the best, but full video on bank stocks coming very soon. Okay, Verizon, they're pretty much at break even, 3.5 shares. Cisco Systems, another company who's done quite well for me, 4.2 shares, up 20. Franklin Resources, another very bad one, 8 shares, down 20. Pembina Pipeline, a new addition to the portfolio, 6 shares, pretty much break even. JP Morgan Chase & Co, so my second bank stock, and they're just about in the green. I have 1.5 shares. And the very last one, Eastman Chemical. These were one of the very first companies I bought, and I don't really plan on adding any more to this position. Now, I don't necessarily plan on selling them down the line, but yeah, I don't think I'll be adding more to them. Maybe one day I will sell them just to get some money into a growth stock, but for now, they're in there. 2 shares, pretty much at break even. So that is literally my entire portfolio. What it's made up of, what's doing really well, what's doing really bad. And what we can also go ahead and do really quickly, just out of interest, is if I change it to result, we can see what companies have actually paid me back the most money. So all of my companies that are in the green, we've Cisco, Walt Disney, Southwest, Cisco, McDonald's, Alphabet, Realty Income, Altria, 3M, Delta Airlines, JP Morgan, J&J, Apple and Verizon. Then all of my companies in the red, we've Amazon, Microsoft, Eastman Chemical, Pembina, Chevron, Facebook, Pepsi, Cat, PG, Exxon, Franklin Resource, AT&T, EPD, Coca-Cola and Wells Fargo. The worst by literally double of the one who was next to it. And Wells Fargo would have been even worse if I didn't buy those other 2 shares a couple of days ago. So yeah, definitely a horrific performance by Wells Fargo, but that's okay. I think now is an important time to once again reiterate the fact, okay? I am a long-term investor. So to me, when I got into investing in these companies, I had already predetermined in my head, I don't really care what happens. I don't care if they go down lower. If they go down lower, I'm going to buy more shares. If they go up, happy days, you know. There's going to be several times in my lifetime where my portfolio more than likely goes down over 20 to 40%. That's just a fact of life. That's the way life works. That's the way the world works. So to be pretty much at break even is absolutely fine to me. Now, I know there's still so much uncertainty in the market and people don't know what to expect next, especially now with all that's going on in the world, all of the rioting, the looting, things along those lines. We could see a massive backlash. What's also very scary, a lot of the world is opening back up. Who knows if we're going to see a second wave of the virus? I don't know. I haven't really decided yet if I plan on, you know, slowing down big time on buying stocks. I haven't even decided that maybe I'm going to sell some companies and try to get in cheaper. That's not something I've ever really considered before. It'll all depend on what happens these next couple of weeks. As of right now, no plans to sell anything. In an ideal world, I won't sell anything and I'm just going to keep buying them. Just because the market goes down, I won't panic, I won't sell everything, I'm just going to buy more and more. But you guys have now finally seen exactly what I have gone ahead and bought, exactly how much I've bought in them, my best performing companies, my biggest investments, my worst performers, everything is all on the table. So the next thing I'm going to do really quickly is I'm actually going to go onto the phone app because that gives you a breakdown of how much you've made and what percentage you've gone up or down in the company. Now, on the phone app, you can only go in alphabetical order, so that's why I went through it on the internet one. Even though it's not as aesthetically pleasing, you actually get more information. But now, we'll just go through everything in alphabetical order and the percentage return or loss I've seen. So, 3M, 4.03%. Google, up 6%. Altria Group, up nearly 5%. Amazon, down barely. Apple, up barely. AT&T, still down 9.2%. Now, AT&T is one of my favourite dividend companies, so I'm going to be quite happy to buy a few more shares at this price point. Caterpillar, down about 4%. Chevron, 1.5%. Cisco Systems up 12%, nice to see. Coca-Cola, again, still down 10%. For a company like Coca-Cola to still be down 10%, that gives me incentive to want to go ahead and buy some more, okay? Delta Airlines, 20 shares, up 1.5%. These guys were down at one stage, over 30% for me, okay? So the recovery, getting my cost basis down, has been absolutely fantastic, and I'm happy to be in the position I am right now, very happy. Eastman Chemical down 2%, EPD down 10.5%, Exxon down 3.5%, Facebook down 1.5%, Franklin Resources down 13%, J&J up 1.5%, JP Morgan up 2.5%, McDonald's up 10%, Microsoft pretty much break even, Pembina down 2%, Pepsi down 3%, P&G down 3.5%, Realty Income up 7%, Southwest 18.5%, Cisco nearly 20%, Verizon break even, Walt Disney 16.84%, and Wells Fargo down nearly 24%. Another company who at one stage was down very close to, if not above, 30%. So I know that was really quick, that was an awful lot of information, but I just think it's interesting to actually see the percentages that they've gone up and down, as opposed to just the numbers that they've returned, because they don't give as much information. But that's really it, there's not much more to be said. I've shown you absolutely everything I've owned, how much I've invested, when I invested, what my plans were, what my plans are, how much I'm up, how much I'm down. I could drag it out, but I don't really want to drag it out. What I do think I'll spend a little bit of time speaking about is my investment plans going forward. And look, it's forever changing. It really is. You know, where I want to put my money is forever changing. But one thing is for certain, I want to keep getting as much money into the market as possible, because I genuinely believe it's going to set me up for a really, really good future. I think that a lot of people here will agree that the reason we invest is to set ourselves up for the future. If you're a long-term investor at the very least, we don't invest because we want to make €100 in a month's time. I don't care how much I'm down in a month's time or 2 months' time. I care about how much I'm up in 20, 30 years' time. I hope to be up enough money and having invested enough money to, you know, be able to live off it, because I, for one, don't want to work forever. The question that a lot of people seem to ask is, what am I going to do if the stock market goes down? And I briefly touched on it earlier. Now, the biggest question is, will you sell all your stocks and try buy a little bit lower? And honestly, for me, that's not really what I plan on doing whatsoever. I know a lot of people do, but to me, that's just a massive gamble. Because just as quickly as something can go down, it can come right back up. And the odds of you catching the bottom are very, very slim. And that's why I do just like the dollar cost average. So more than likely, if the market just starts to go down, I'm going to keep doing exactly what I'm doing right now. And just buying stocks, you know, because again, I don't care if my portfolio is in the red for 50% for a few months. I really, really don't. It will actually excite me. It'll excite me because I'll be able to buy more stocks. Now, I know there's always those people who say, you don't make money dollar cost averaging. You know, you miss out on a lot of growth potential dollar cost averaging. You need to be buying everything down the bottom. What if you don't get the bottom? What if the bottom never happens? What if you miss the bottom? I just think dollar cost averaging is a very safe long-term bet. I'm not a gambler, you know what I mean? I'm not here to try and make the most money in the whole wide world. I don't want to live every day in stress, wondering about what the market is going to do in the short term. I want to invest that money, forget it exists, and see it paid back to me over the decades to come. So that's kind of my mindset with all of this. I don't expect everybody to agree. I know a lot of people do enjoy catching the bottom, but I'm going to keep investing. And the worse that market conditions get, I'm going to invest more. That's the way I look at it. But guys, what else can I say? I laid everything on the table at the start of this video. The fact that 5,000 people have clicked that subscribe button. In the last week, over 1,000 people have clicked that subscribe button. It's genuinely mind-blowing to me. But I am so appreciative and I'm so excited. I have no signs of blowing up. Now, I realise the potential that this channel has. I realise the effect that I'm having on people. It's only motivating me more. I only want to push harder, to grow faster, to affect more people positively. So from the bottom of my heart, if you're a subscriber, if you've watched a single video, if you've liked the video, if you've ever dropped me a comment, if you've messaged me on Instagram, whatever it is you've done, I appreciate you so much more than I can put into words. You have been a part of this journey that we've had so far, and you're going to be a part of absolutely everything I do going forwards. And that is no lie. Genuinely, you are a massive part of this channel. This isn't just me, it's all of us. And for that, I thank you so much. And I'm going to leave the video there, guys. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this. It was heavily requested. It's the 5k special. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. As always, I'm going to catch you guys for tomorrow's video. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day and have a fantastic week in general. I will catch you all for the next one. Peace.